Gitlin of Legit Oils here, and I wanted to talk today about a book bundle that I recently received from Your Oil Tools. So before I get started, I just wanted to say that one of the first things that I say to everyone when they get started with essential oils, if they have lots of questions, whether or not they've actually used oils before or not, you need some kind of reference. You need to be able to, if something happens or if you're looking to support yourself or your family using your oils, you need to have an actual book in front of you. The internet is great, but you really need to have a trusted source, and that is what I have found with this beginner's quick start library bundle. So it's basically a bundle of these 3 books that gives you an overview of different ways to use the oils, whether it's physically or emotionally. So I'm just going to quickly go through each one of these books and share my favorite things. You see that I've gotten them tabbed for you. So let's get started. Again, when you have someone or even yourself, you're getting started with oils, think back to what did you need? Tons of questions that I had about were, okay, so what oil can I use for this? Is this dilution ratio safe? What can I use with my pets? All of those things you can find inside of these reference books. So the first one, this is actually the A to Z guide. So this is something very little that you can just throw in your bag. This is like a snapshot of the bigger book, which I'll get into later. So here's the guidebook and here's the A to Z guide. And this is something that is great for new oilers. So I like to include this in my new member package when someone enrolls. So this is great to use for that. And you'll see in the beginning of the book, it even quickly just goes over like, all right, someone came to your class, if you forget, like, how do I use oils? Here it is, topical, internal, and aromatic, right? So it's going to give that quick overview. It's going to talk about dilution, talks about photosensitivity, so you have that in here, the safety. Then you're going to get into the different ailments. So it has A to Z alphabetically, different ailments that may arise and what oils can be used with those ailments. And then it has a little symbol under it telling you, okay, do you use it aromatically, topically, or internally? So that is one way to use this guide. The other way is if you go to the back, like let's say that when you enrolled, you got a free product and maybe you got ginger, for example, and you're like, all right, well, I have ginger, but now what can I do with it? You can look up that oil and then it tells you the different things that it's good for. So I love a reference book like this to quickly just see like, all right, what can I do with the oils I have? Or I have this issue going on, how can I best support it? Quick, easy guide to throw in your bag and to give to new oilers. This is great. So everyone needs one of those. Then the guidebook. This is going to be your real reference material, that you leave at home so that you can reference this whenever needed. You can even glance through in the beginning. It starts out and it's going to talk to you again more in depth about dilution ratios and safety of using oils, how to create roller blends, how many drops should be in the bottle, a question I get all the time, different application methods. I love that. And then it's going to go into the ailments. But what you're going to see here is that since this is the guidebook, it is expanded upon. So there's actual protocols in here as well. So instead of just saying, okay, insect repellent and giving a couple of ideas of oils and saying you can use it topically, in here it's going to say, what blends you can actually make, what oils you can blend together, and like a recipe for an insect repellent spray, for example. And then they'll give you other recommendations as well. So this is a really strong reference for different ailments. Then when you get to the next section, in the ailments too, sorry, I wanted to mention this whole page, and then there's another entire page dedicated to pets. I get this question all the time. So you want to make sure that you have a trusted source that you can look at and say, okay, what oils are safe to use around my pets? What are some natural solutions that I can use to keep them healthy and happy? So pretty cool. It's right in this book for you. Then the next section, again, like similar to the A to Z guide, you'll have the oils, obviously more expanded. So if you wanted to look up an oil like magnolia, for instance, maybe you got that oil. You wanted to learn more about it. It's going to talk to you a little bit about where the oil comes from. It talks to you about safety. It describes the aroma. So maybe magnolia is something that you didn't yet purchase, but you're thinking about it. It'll tell you that it's floral, herbaceous, and earthy. So you can kind of imagine what it would smell like. Then it's going to tell you the main chemical constituents, which is really cool too, because you get that little bit of science to understand how it does what it does with your body and your emotions. Then it's going to go into the 3 different uses. So you'll have medicinal, everyday uses, emotions, and then there's also a little substitutions area, which I also love, because let's face it, you may not have every single oil yet, and a lot of your new oilers definitely won't. So when they get to a recipe and they're like, oh, I don't have that yet, what can I use instead? This reference book tells them, which is really awesome. Okay. Then there's a couple more sections I'll talk about quick. So the next one is the oil blends, which is really powerful as well, giving you those sections just like the single oils with the different uses. And I love that it also throws in here a little bit of emotions too. Then you're going to get into the supplementation area, which will expand upon the different supplements and the different ingredients in each of them, different things, dosage suggestions, what body system they work with, and everything like that as well. So it's always good to take a look a little bit deeper into what we're putting in our body. So it's pretty cool that there's a whole section of the supplements in here. Then you get into the different body systems. So immune system, for example, you'll see the whole page is dedicated to the immune system. It's going to talk about what oils are supportive, what blends you can use, supplements. Each page gives a nightly diffuser blend that you can use to best support your system, whether it's immune system, respiratory system, you name it. And again, protocols. So super helpful for anyone getting started with oils. The last thing that I'll highlight quick is this reflexology point chart. So you have it for the hands and the feet, which is really neat. If you're new to this and you kind of want to dip your toe in and learn a little bit more, you can understand about, okay, where would the oils really be supportive when I'm putting them on topically for different reasons. So then after that, I will mention too, there's sections in here for cleaning and other really kind of popular uses for different lifestyles. So smoothies, recipes, weight loss, you name it. So this book and then this A to Z guide are part of that beginner's quick start library bundle. And then you also get a 3rd book, which I didn't even realize. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Because I love getting into the emotional aspect of oils, because a lot of times when you're talking about oils and you smell it, you have that instant reaction. So to explain like, okay, what oils can I use to really support my emotions? I find that really powerful. And a lot of my oil community love to tap into this as well. So this is a great reference to have. So it's going to go through 2 main sections. The first section is going to give you emotional ailments and oil protocols. So it's going to go by what's going on, what are you feeling, and what oils can support it. So something like bereavement. You'll see in here that it'll give you the oil blends, even maybe supplements, some protocols, and then there's testimonies too. So that's like the chunk of the book is what's going on, what can I support with it? And then the back of it is giving you, all right, you have this oil, these are the different things that can be used with what you can use those oils for. So it'll go through the oil names and it'll tell you, okay, something like clary sage, what emotions will it support, that oil? And then it'll give you some different ways to balance the emotions and what emotions they are. So it's pretty cool. That goes deep into that in this book. So all 3 of these I received and I absolutely love them. And I highly recommend when anyone's getting started with oils that they have reference books like these in their home so that they can feel empowered and super comfortable with using their oils, because oils only work when you actually use them, right? All right. See you soon, guys.